Hey there everyone, today we're diving into some exciting topics about how digital technology and advancements in the metaverse change the game for collaboration and innovation. And I'm Lukas Falke, I'm an assistant professor at the Kind Center for Digital Innovation at Vrije University Amsterdam and also at the Center for Digital Transformation at Imperial College London. And I'm here today with Anne-Christine.
Yeah, my name is Anne-Christine Zobel. I'm an associate professor of management at the University of St. Gallen, and I've been doing research on open innovation for more than a decade now, but I've also been observing these changes in the digital realm and how they're increasingly affecting how open innovation is done. And this is something we want to explore a bit more today in this video.
And actually, the rise of digital innovation and open innovation is inherently intertwined. A lot of forms of open innovation only emerged because of the emergence of digital technologies. Think about crowdsourcing, open source software development, or online community. But what is exciting, what we know much less about, is now that these traditional forms of open innovation also move to virtual worlds.
That's right, and I think a good example for this is collaboration between large corporates and startups. And the way that we know this is that this takes place in the physical world, right? We have large companies that have innovation hubs all around the world, in the San Francisco Bay Area or in Tel Aviv, where managers then go physically and really immerse in that ecosystem and meet with startups, work together in labs, etc. But what we're also seeing there is that even these types of forms of open innovation can increasingly go online. And of course, one event that also forced this transition to go online was the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, and the big question is now, when we move these these traditional forms of open innovation to virtual worlds, can these partners actually build trust? How does the collaboration work? And this is exactly where our research comes in, and we want to understand how to make collaboration in virtual worlds in kind of metaverse-like settings work.
So if you do research on open innovation or you're a practitioner of open innovation, you know how difficult it is already in the physical world. We have this paradox of disclosure. How much can you actually trust your partner? How much can you disclose? And imagine doing that without the personal interaction and doing that online. And we thought this was really fascinating. And that's what we wanted to study. So we looked at an open innovation program in the energy sector where multiple large electric utilities created this open innovation program, and then startups from all over the world would apply annually, and in an annual program they would collaborate, work together with the ultimate aim of developing pilots together so that utilities could eventually adopt the solutions from the startups. And they were always considering doing part of that program or even the entire program online. COVID forced that decision, and that is our research setting that we studied.
So we actually looked at this virtual collaboration program and combined multiple data sources. We immersed ourselves in the research setting, observed how these different actors, startups and utilities collaborate online. We collected digital trace data to see which kind of digital features did they use. We conducted several interviews, and then we combined all of this into like a longitudinal database and made a quantitative analysis to see actually how the usage of different features, like visiting a virtual booth in this online world or using web conferencing tools, relates to the foundation or the building of trust between partners. And we also did a qualitative analysis to actually understand the challenges and the best practices of how to overcome the challenges and actually build trust in pilots in virtual collaboration.
Yeah, so based on this rich setting and this rich database, we found some very interesting results that we're going to look at next. So remember what we were interested in, what our dependent variable is, our outcome variable. So we want to understand at the firm level how well these corporate and startups are able to conduct successful pilots. And we believe that this actually hinges upon the ability of individuals, the open innovation managers, to build trusted relationships in the open innovation program. And we want to understand how these outcomes can be created in the metaverse, in the digital realm. So what we found is that, first of all, the first step that managers should engage in is to use digital information features. So this could be, for instance, visiting company booths of all the parties that are involved in the program. And you can see that this actually does not allow you to directly create these trusted relationships, but it is an important antecedent for then leveraging other digital interaction features. So you can identify those partners that have the best fit with your strategic interests, and then you really engage with those partners through digital interaction features. For instance, through participating in web conferencing sessions, either bilaterally or with many participants. These should be focusing on content, but we also saw the value of social engagement in these web conferencing sessions. It also involves using messenger groups, for instance, and then it's through these digital interaction features that trusted open innovation relationships can be built.
And then we looked also at the challenges that these collaborators face when building trust. And we find that actually the metaverse, it's a vision, but it's actually unrealized, and you have limited features available. Also, you have the issue of different time zones that you need to bridge. And one way to overcome is to actually have ubiquitous program managers that are available 24/7, that are well trained and energizing all the participants to overcome these challenges. Also, of course, in the virtual worlds, we miss these serendipitous interactions. So actually, what these program managers can do is to engage in adaptive social engineering of digital interactions, so that they actually facilitate and enable the participants to engage in digital bonding, so that you can build the trusted open innovation relationships.
Right, so that's what we found based on our research setting and based on the data that we collected. But we're also well aware that technologies are changing so quickly nowadays, and there's so much potential in these generative, fast developing technologies, that we also thought about, if we take this as a basis, how could this further develop in the future? And we have some thoughts on that as well.
So we developed 4 outlooks, and first our suggestion is to improve the interaction and information features. We advise managers to tap into the potential of generative artificial intelligence. Second, of course, because the metaverse is just a vision and the features are limited, we really push the managers and also academics to investigate how advancement in features like virtual reality can enable and help to really realize the vision of the metaverse. Then, in reality, often many forms switch to hybrid models. Also for open innovation, thinking about designing hybrid collaboration programs could be the way forward. And finally, we learned a lot in the setting of corporate startup collaboration, but actually these learnings can also be applied to other forms of open innovation. Think about living labs or hackathons that might move to hybrid virtual settings. And with that, we hope to inspire you to do further research and better design collaboration in the virtual world, and hope that you're interested in reading our paper in the California Management Review. Thanks for listening.